you tweeted. We have the tweet you tweeted, Tommy. Yeah? We have the tweet you tweeted. That is not you moving on from Finsbury Park Mosque or allowing them to evolve or change. Okay. That is you telling everybody Finsbury Park Mosque is a jihadi terrorist hotbed.
Well, it certainly was at one time, and the Daily Mail and the BBC agreed with them.
Right? That's what you're saying in that tweet.
I said it was. Now,
why are they not allowed to move on, but you are?
You know the man who's just done this attack? Say we trace it back and we find that he went to a centre in Cardiff, and in that centre in Cardiff there was 4 speakers, and those 4 speakers were killing for the murder of Muslims. What will happen?
No,
let me finish. No, let me finish. What would happen is it would be shut down and they would be arrested. Now, Didsbury Mosque, it had one imam, Muhammad Adam, said that if you see non-Muslims walking down the street, you make sure they cross the other side, yeah? You do not say salam to them, do not show them respect.
Tommy.
If people, another hate preacher, no, please let me finish.
I agree with you about,
Piers,
I agree with you.
Piers, please.
He won't let me finish because he knows too much about it, and Piers knows sweet FA about it.
No. Let me finish, because you want to know
why you're trying to persuade me.
No, I'm trying to explain to you why we're in the situation we're in. People see no light at the end of the tunnel. After that attack in Manchester, where and this is hatred against music. He targeted a kid's concert. He could recite the Quran without looking at it. The imam from that mosque was fighting jihad for years in Libya. Okay, please let me finish. Please, Piers, let me finish.
No, because you're missing my point.
No, you're missing the point. I'll get to the point.
Yeah, you are missing the point. You're missing the point to cover up war crimes for 1450 years of Islam. You idiot, Piers.
This mosque, okay, so we've got people inciting murder against non-Muslims. What has been the reaction? Has any politician spoke about that mosque? Has anyone done anything about that mosque? They haven't. Do you know what the police done? The police went and stood next to him holding a sign saying "Stronger Together." Stronger Together. They've been inciting hatred and murder against us.
Listen, I need to.
And other mosques.
Okay,
please let me finish.
You need to stop talking. Sorry,
You need to stop talking. The truth. Yeah, you do, because it doesn't agree with their bloody far left pro-jihad agenda.
When the British public see these things, and they see ISIS fighters walking on the streets, you understand it's going to create the problem you saw this week.
We all understand this. And by the way,
because the plain fact is they should all be in detention. They should all be deported or put in jail, because they're haters. They genuinely hate us and want to kill as many of us as they can.
Talk about it unless the British public are allowed.
We have been talking about little else for the last 3 months on this programme. I have said many things similar to you.
You've been brave.
So here's my point. This is not about me saying everything you say is wrong. My problem comes.
What's wrong with my accent?
Let me finish.
The way I talk, my background.
Mate, we both went to comprehensive schools, right?
You went to
I went to a state school, mate.
Yeah, you went to a school in Surrey.
No, I didn't. I went to a school in Sussex called Cheney Comprehensive, right? Don't play the class card with me.
You know nothing. You know nothing
about
growing up in Luton. You know nothing about growing up in Luton.
No, he doesn't, because he's come from a rich family, a middle class family. That's why he's on like 500 grand a year working on the TV, isn't it, Piers?
You haven't watched your town decay. You haven't seen. I travel this country meeting families whose daughters have been raped, who are desperate. The British public are desperate for this problem to be solved. You want to talk about the radicalising factor as to why this attack? But we need to talk about why this attack happened.
We're sick of them ignoring the rape gangs for 30 years. I saw it 24 years ago, and it was ignored then too.
We need to
calm down.
We have to
calm down and let me respond to you. I'm not saying nothing you say has merit, right? I have argued the same points about the Wahhabi preaching in mosques in this country, the extremism. I've urged Muslims, the decent law-abiding Muslims, to root out extremists. My problem with you...
They can't, because they're too scared to, because they get attacked themselves.
...is that you conflate Islamist terrorism with all Muslims.
No, with Islam.
Well, I've just seen a video where you talked about...
7 years ago, Piers, come on.
The Finsbury Park Mosque stuff you're talking about was 15 years ago. If they're not allowed to be...
I've just told you that...
So are you.
Piers, can I ask, okay, what do you know about Islam?
A lot.
Okay, have you read the biography of Muhammad?
Yes, I've read the...
No, he hasn't. He knows sweet FA about it, obviously. Otherwise, we wouldn't be shutting Tommy down for speaking the truth.
Quran.
Yes, I have.
Have you read the Bible?
Yes, have you read the biography of Muhammad?
Which has more violence in it?
Piers, have you read the biography of Muhammad? What do you know about the Prophet Muhammad?
Which has more...
Nothing. That's why he won't answer.
Just ask me a question, please. What do you know about the Prophet Muhammad?
Here's how this programme works.
You said in your newspaper article yesterday...
You are a guest on our programme. and I asked the questions with Suzanne.
You said
I would like you to just clarify this. Yeah. Do you believe, as you did in 2011, that all Muslims are accountable?
Of course I don't.
So do you apologise for what you said?
I've already apologised on national TV when I left the English Defence League and joined a Muslim counter-extremism think tank, which again in your article you didn't want to talk about yesterday. Now, as I could say, you said yesterday... Let
me ask you another question.
Please, why am I not allowed to finish?
Do you believe...
He's not allowed to finish a single sentence, exactly, because he's a bully, a bloody media Nazi. That's what you are, Piers.
More Muslims should be allowed into our country.
Do I believe more?
Yes.
How would you tell who those Muslims are or where they come from?
I'm just asking you, do you believe, would you have a ban, like Donald Trump suggested in America, would you have a ban on Muslims entering the country, new Muslims trying to have a home in this country? I believe we need to protect the British public right now. So what's the answer to the question?
British Muslims?
Yeah, we did, the British public. I didn't say British non-Muslim public. I said the British public.
Including Muslims, obviously, because some of the worst victims of this cruel ideology, obviously,
just asking you, would you have a ban, like Donald Trump suggested in America, would you have a ban on Muslims entering the country, new Muslims trying to have a home in this country? I believe we need to protect the British public right now. So what's the answer to the question?
British Muslims?
Yeah, we did, the British public. I didn't say British non-Muslim public. I said the British public. We've had three terror attacks. Children are being killed.
Yes, we all know what's been happening.
Yes, I would. You
would ban all Muslims.
I would temporarily halt Muslim immigration to this country until we get a grip of the problem.
Until we know who's going to integrate, who's going to bomb us and who isn't.
Now, again, Piers, you said in your newspaper yesterday that I was...
It's not my newspaper.
You said in your article yesterday to the national newspaper, you act like I was ignorant and I was stupid, OK? I was ignorant. You have not...
I didn't call you either of those things.
You did.
I said you were violent because you have a long record of criminal convictions for violence. You led a hooligan firm at Luton.
Piers,
your name is not even Tommy Robinson. You renamed yourself after the leader of Luton Football Club's main hooligan gang, Men in Gear, right? You accept all that, do you?
What the hell has that got to do with the mosques and kids being raped and our kids being bombed monthly? What's that to do with it? For heaven's sake, Piers.
Yeah, I do. I've not come here. I'm not
come
here to have a slandering match with you because that doesn't get this cause anywhere. I want to do a public service. I want to address the issues. I want to talk about why we've got dead kids in Manchester. I want to prevent what's happening. I'm coming for you I could pick things with your history. You're involved in one of the biggest media scandals in the country's history. I'm not here to do that with you. I think what you've done over the last 3 weeks, you've repeated what I've said for 10 years, speaking better English. And in 3 years' time, you'll be repeating what I'm saying now because you're all playing catch-up.
Okay.
I have seen this.
They are playing catch-up, they are, but they're so far behind it's untrue.
I'm not talking about what I read in a book, I'm talking about my life experience. I'm talking about growing up in a town plagued by Islamic extremism.
I understand this. Let me just keep this calm, right? Because you are an influential You are an influential
And at every opportunity I point out that you should not attack innocent Muslims. At every opportunity, every single time, I differentiate Muslims from Islam.
Right. Okay? But what you don't do...
differentiate Muslims
are people. Islam is an idea.
Yeah.
Islam is an idea. A bad idea.
And
Islam
Muslims
is a faith.
follow.
No, it's an idea.
It's a faith.
It is an idea, just like communism, just like capitalism, just like Marxism. It should be called an Islamism.
It's an idea that you can change your mind.
No, it's a faith, like Christianity.
Like Scientology.
It's like all faiths.
Like
it's a religion, it's a faith.
Like Scientology?
So, Tommy, if you're
ideology.
saying that the problem is with Islam, are you accepting that you're Islamophobic?
Because there are 100 verses in this...
Yes or no?
Yeah, there are over 100 verses telling them to kill us, to take our houses, to take our goods, to steal our children and to sell them as sex slaves. It's still got these verses in every Quran. If Piers or this woman had read any of it, she would know it. It's in all the verses, especially the Sunnah and a few others.
No, are you Islamophobic?
There's no such word as Islamophobia. Phobia is an irrational fear. It's not irrational to fear these things. Now, if I hold this book up and say, there will never be peace on this earth so long as we have this book, it's a violent and cursed book. That's
Can I
tell you who said that? Can I tell you who said that? Sir William Gladstone said that. Sir William Gladstone.
Sir William Gladstone, where did he stand up in the Houses of Parliament and say this is an accursed book? Because he'd read it and he understood it and he knew how bad it was.
The Bible. Show some respect.
Show some respect.
Show some respect for an ideology that's killed 250, 300 million. It's castrated 15 plus million Africans and whites. It's invaded dozens of countries. It's got barbaric and perverted from day one. This Piers guy doesn't know what old Mo used to do with little boys and girls, does he? But Tommy does, and I do.
Respect.
Have you read this book?
People.
Have you read this book? There's 100 verses in this book that incite violence and murder against us.
It does 109 verses, do you reckon? At least 109 verses where it tells them to rob us and kill us, and enslave us, take our houses, take our kids. It really does say this.
Show some damn respect for people's religious beliefs, right?
I should show some respect for a book that incites murder against me.
Put it down.
And calls me an animal. No, I won't put it down. So,
right just now I'd feel like jumping up and smacking him, but that's just me. Thankfully, Tommy's, a bit more patient than me.
William Gladstone held this book above his head in Parliament, and he said there will never be peace on this earth so long as we have this book. It's a violent and cursed book. Was Sir William Gladstone, who we have statues across our capital city, was he a bigot or an Islamophobe?
Winston Churchill sounding like a complete
Winston Churchill said that a person that's following Islam, that's filled with Islam, is like a rabies-infected dog. He really did say this in his book River Wars in 1898. That was Winston Churchill, one of this country's biggest heroes. Dork, Piers.
I'm quoting some of the best leaders in this country.
You're sounding like a bigoted lunatic.
No, I'm not.
Basically, you are an Islamophobe who hates Islam.
No, I don't.
You basically think all Muslims are to blame. We've seen you on video saying.
See, he's shouting over every word because he's determined people aren't going to know this truth.
What you're doing now is deliberately inflammatory. It is deliberately poisonous.
How is this inflammatory?
And you are having the complete opposite effect to the one that you say you have. You are stirring up hatred. You are abusing people's religion. You're abusing their faith, and you're being a complete disgrace.
What do you know about the Prophet Muhammad? We've established nothing. You are ignorant.
He's totally ignorant about the Quran, Muhammad, the Hadiths, everything. I know a lot more about it than Piers does, but nowhere near as much as Tommy, obviously.
What do you know about the Prophet? How are insulting people?
Who have deeply held religious beliefs.
And
you flouncing the Quran around in your hand in that disgraceful manner
is outrageous. This book is the reason we're in such a mess. No. That's a reality.
No.
Yeah, it is, because it encourages terrorism, encourages invasion, looting, dealing in slaves, demeaning us, laughing at us, calling us obscene, racist names since 627 AD, Piers. You need to learn this.
We're in this mess because people take Islam, they are terrorists, and they abuse the nature of Islam and the wording of Islam, and they perpetrate evil, and it is completely wrong. And for you to try and claim that the vast majority of Muslims...
And you know that how, exactly, because you know nothing about it, Piers. You're a typical posh, privileged, 300-400 grand a guy, Muslim apologetic.
Who are decent, law-abiding people, to try and abuse and mock their faith and their holy book is an outrage.
Their holy book. When you talk, when the sacred months have passed, slay the non-Muslims wherever you find them and take them captive and besiege them and prepare for them in ambush.
Yeah, prepare for them in ambush, lay siege to them, and when you get them, behead them, steal, take the kids, etc., etc. It's the same story all the way through the Quran.
Who's slaying who?
We are going to talk to a representative of the Finsbury Park Mosque after 7 o'clock.